Shut up and sit down.
Hey guys, we took a little field trip today and we are down at a friend of mine's house, Nathan Shaw. He runs a shop called One Guy's Garage. And I don't know, we've been friends for quite a long time actually, and found out mutual friends of ours that that kind of set us up together. And Nathan also does a thing, a One Guy's Garage Drag Weekend, and builds a lot of drag car stuff, a lot of turbo, a lot of really cool stuff. So he's going to take us through and show us his shop here a little bit, open it up, and show you the cool stuff that he is doing in here. Very inspiring. Let's go take a look.
All right, come on in, guys. First off, we got a Fox body Mustang. The engine compartment and turbo setup was done by another Minnesota shop, Racecraft Inc. And then I got it in for a little suspension work. We did some torque boxes, some suspension parts, wheels and tires, a much more appealing ride height. It took about 3.5 inches out of the ride height front mirror, so it's looking a lot more aggressive now.
So this is a complete street car, roll-up windows, everything then too, and parachute. What kind of times does he run with this thing, or is it a fresh build that he's looking at just taking it out this year?
It is a fresh build. He's got a new Bennett Racing small block Ford in it with an 88 on it. I think he's going to do a little racing up at Brainerd and probably out at Cache at the Creek, Grove Creek. So I'm sure you'll see it out there.
How about Drag Weekend? Is he going on Drag Weekend this year?
I doubt we'll see this one on Drag Weekend, although I haven't invited him yet, so maybe I should throw that out.
Yeah, I think it would be sweet to see this thing out there on the road. That's freaking awesome. Fox body Mustangs, they seem to be the race car, the cheap budget race car, and people can go crazy with them too.
Yep, for sure. Nice and light.
What else are you working on in here?
This other one is a 2006 GTO. Pretty well known in Minnesota. It's seen a lot of different versions of this car out on the street. Taking it kind of to the next level and making it into a safe, light kind of race car, street-driven race car, I would call it. You'll definitely see it out at Cache at the Creek. Yeah, it's been being built with all the streetcar rules in mind. So,
and this thing has inspired me for a long time. And this is actually the first car that I found out that Nathan did a twin turbo setup 427 in it. And I looked at this car up at Power Cruise up at Brainerd, going, wow, who built this car? This is a really, really well set up, turbo setup on it, twin turbos, and then found out it was you, Nathan, that built this car. And this is our friend Stuart's car. This thing has taken on so many different faces. It's been different colors, it's been plasti dipped, it's been painted, it's been maroon, it's been white, it's been different tires, different wheels, different brakes, different motor setups on it. This is a pretty cool, and now it's all completely gutted again. That's pretty impressive.
For sure, it's had a lot of different looks, and hopefully once it's together this year, it'll stay that way for a little while, and until it gets a big block or something.
So now he's sitting there with a power glide in here, and what are you gonna run for a motor and turbos on it this year?
It's got a 416, the same LSX block. We did update the heads. Just the other ones have been on there 4 years, so it's time to change them out. Get something on there a little bit bigger. The same Precision 76 Gen 2 turbos. Should make right around 2,000.
2,000 wheel horsepower?
Probably with the flywheel.
Flywheel horsepower.
1,700 or so with the wheels.
It's just, these numbers are just getting crazy, people. I mean, it's just unreal how much power you can get out of these turbo cars. And the coolest part I love about it is you can drive them all the time too. So you can take a car that does, you know, a 7 or an 8 second quarter mile and take it 900 miles and go drive it and race on 3 different tracks and drive it home and everything too. That is just ludicrous. 15 years ago, that was just unheard of. That technology is just awesome, and it's so sweet to see you grasping on this technology and pushing it into the next level and everything too. And how about your car over here? This has been another car that's really inspired me an awful lot also, and Nathan used to autocross this car as well, so it was really a multi-purpose car, and he's more dedicated more into the drag racing and everything now, and converted this car again as well. What's your car?
It is a 71 Chevy Nova. If you can pan up to the wall up there, there's a shot, a picture of when I used to autocross it a little bit. It was fun, but I didn't get the thrill that I do when I drag race it. So it has evolved over the years. I'll go through the setups that I had in it, but it was a single 69 on a 6.0. And then it was a single 76 on a 5.3, twin 72s on a 5.3, twin 69s on a 5.3, and the latest is a big black Chevy with twin 88s. And it's kind of evolved to more of a street-driven race car build now.
So you're going to take this on your drag weekend then as well?
I plan to, yeah, as long as everything cooperates and it cools well enough on the street. I did rear mount the radiator, so we'll see how that's going to work out. I hope it cools well enough. But.
Well, spring is right around the corner, so I'll be able to get some time behind the wheel and hopefully get this thing dialed in on the street and make sure everything's going to work right. Are these the tires you're going to run on that? These little ones over here?
No, small tires for life.
Wow.
What's the fastest you've been in this car?
I'm racing it primarily NT now, no time. So it did go 7s with the 5.3. I guess no one will ever know again because it's just going to be a no time car.
So what kind of mile an hour are you running at in the 7s like that? What kind of mile an hour are you in?
170, 172.
172 and a quarter mile in a car. How much does it weigh?
It weighed 3250 when it went 7s. It's significantly lighter now. I had it on the scales the other day. It's probably about 80% complete, and it's, yes, significantly lighter than it was.
Your batteries over here? This what you're running, the little Autocraft batteries?
Yep, the little lithium-ion power sport batteries.
That is super cool how light these things are.
If you guys want to guess how much those 2 batteries and their brackets weigh, you'd be surprised.
Yeah, I mean,
Aren't they like 10 pounds a piece or something like
They
that?
are.
They feel there's like 2 pounds a piece.
They're under
Wow.
6 pounds for the pair with the brackets.
6 pounds with the brackets and the batteries. Holy cow!
That's
When
impressive.
you talk about a lead acid battery, that size for this thing would be 70 pounds.
Right.
And you get it down from 70 to 6. That's incredible. That's a really cool place to put those too.
Plus, you're losing the 10 or 12 feet of
Of
the
wire.
battery cables running to the back.
Right.
You still have to have a master disconnect up under there, run by a cable to the back, but it's still significantly lighter than a traditional lead acid.
So what are you using for an engine management system?
That is an Adaptronic. They're out of Australia, and then a local guy, Sean Christensen, tuned by Sean. He's going to be doing all my tuning and helping me out getting that setup dialed in. A little bit unconventional around here. They do mostly rotary engines and stuff out of Australia, but he's going to take the plunge into twin turbo V8 world.
Interesting. I've never even seen one of those before, or heard of it, for that matter.
Yeah, very capable system. It's all you know, everything that a Holly Dominator can do all in one little lightweight box.
So you gonna run traction control or anything on here then
It
as
does.
well?
It has traction control, dual wheel speed sensor.
That is so cool. That's what I think has made cars so fast, because you can take 2,000 horsepower and put it down to the ground because your tires start spinning. It can take power in or out of it in milliseconds, and it's just crazy what it can do to a street car where you can dial it up or down by your wheel speed sensors. That is some pretty cool technology in my book.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of the local tuners are really diving deep into that and getting a lot of the cars set up around here with, you know, wheel speed traction control, doing big things with it.
Awesome. I'm looking really forward to going on drag weekend again this year. We took a year off with your wife's health issues, everything, and boy, it'd be super awesome to see everybody back out there again.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun to get the cars back out and put some miles on them and hopefully make that little Falcon go a little faster.
And
Where's that Falcon?
It's up in the garage. I was going to get it out today so we could do some burnouts, but like the typical Minnesota winter car and storage, it's got a bunch of crap piled on it. So just save that one for the next time you guys are out. Tools I have around the shop. I don't have a real elaborate setup as far as the amount of tools. A lot of them are either homemade or you know, I've done some research online and figured out what'll do the most for the money. So here I have a little tubing notcher that I built, a motor, a 10-to-1 gear reducer, a little mini mill bearing housing that holds an R8 tool holder with a broach cutter, and then a XY adjustable vise. We're going to put a piece of tubing in it, and I'll show you how it notches.
This is probably my favorite tool that I've seen so far. This is pretty cool.
And there's just a little band on the top that keeps it from flying out. I should have a V-jaw in there. I just haven't done it yet. About 10 seconds later, you have a nice notch that's ready to be finished. Didn't go quite full depth there. And then
What's this thing?
next, we got a tool I use. It's a pipe polisher. A lot of guys use them for handrails and things like that, where they're out in the field and polishing tubing or pipe. I use it to do 304 stainless, put a nice brushed finish on it. This one's been brushed a little bit, but it's pretty much how it came from the factory. So I'll show you how that one works too. Takes a little bit of time, but it does put a nice uniform brushed finish on it compared to, you know, some of the machine marks and stuff from bending.
I noticed you were going left to right with it.
Yeah, just it kind of helps,
Just kind of give it.
make the finish uniform, I found.
That's cool.
Next up is a little affordable bender. You can get them with the die. I think they're about $300 to $400, but I've really found that it's the best affordably priced bender that takes up virtually no floor space. bends the tube vertically, and you can just clamp it to a table, which I've done here, and I'll show you how that works. I got a piece of 1 5/8" 083 in there, and I have converted it to air over
I
hydraulic.
was gonna ask you about that.
It usually is just a pump jack, which is terribly slow. So you can get these air over hydraulic cylinders at Harbor Freight, and then I kind of crudely welded a adapter on there, but it does work really well. Tighten it up and stand back and hit the switch.
And it'll do a full 90?
It will, yeah. Very little deformation, obviously.
I think your stove is angry.
Another shop tool that, one of the best purchases I ever made was a little Eastwood scroll.
Think it's
scroll
quiet.
compressor. Yeah, we can still talk over it.
How many horsepower is that thing? Ah,
There's the compressor in the corner right here.
All right, I'm just going to go over a little bit on what I have for welders. It doesn't take $1 million setup to weld nicely or proficiently. I started with a little Miller Diversion 165 that was a great starter welder, and then a couple of years ago I upgraded to this CK Worldwide 200, which I'm very, very happy with. It's around a $2,000 welder, so it's kind of a middle of the road, but does a really, really good job. And then a MIG that I don't use a ton, and then a little plasma from Northern that I also don't use a ton. Primarily, everything I do is TIG welded.
this is amazing to me right here. This is a 200 amp machine, and I have a Syncrowave 250 at home, and takes up the whole size of this cart, and it's only 50 amps more than this tiny little thing right here. That is so impressive how technology has changed that.
The inverter technology.
Right.
For sure. That's very nice. And
Well, same with that plasma cutter there.
yeah, you know, one of the nice things is, say you're doing drag week or my drag weekend, and you have a pretty serious car, or just want to be the guy that's going to help everybody out. You can, you know, easily load that in the trunk of your car and basically weld anything back together that breaks. You know, all you gotta do is find a 110 outlet.
Yeah, where mine you would need a trailer and a truck to pull the thing with too. So, I also notice your bandsaw over here. Everybody thinks that you need $1 million worth of tool to build some really cool cars, and this is definitely not the case. And that swag little bandsaw thing is just a slick thing. And if most people don't know, you take cutting stainless is really hard on a bandsaw, and it takes a lot of precision to do it, and you do it with a bigger bandsaw, and it smokes the blade really easily, and these blades are super cheap with these, and they do the job really well.
Yeah, it's a nice little affordable saw that also takes up a very small amount of shop space. The swag little stand is really nice, and like Eric said, the blades are really cheap. And this Milwaukee has an adjustable speed, so you can slow it down nice for you know, if you're doing aluminum or stainless or whatever you're doing. And a little disc sander, which is very useful for squaring up the cut. It usually doesn't quite get it perfect, so square up the cut, maybe bevel the edge if you want a little bit more weld penetration. And then the belt sander I use here is just for sharpening tungsten. You know, even pro welders, you dip their tungsten in the material they're welding, or it gets a little worn after TIG welding. So you chuck it up in this drill, turn on the belt sander, and sharpen up your tungsten really quickly and efficiently, cheaply.
So that's what we're talking about, guys. Really, really cool stuff. And hometown garage built kind of deal, that it's not a big shop or by any means. And so are you open to the public for anything, for selling or manufacturing or fabricating anything? Is this, what do you do for this business part of it?
Absolutely, we're open to the public Monday through Friday. I primarily do turbo fabrication, tubing, headers, anything to put a turbo on your 1950 through current muscle car or hot rod, and then also chassis fabrication, round tube chassis to the basic 850 roll cage.
So if somebody came to you today and wanted you to build them a Fox body Mustang or whatever, how far out are you right now? How far backlogged are you?
Right now, about 6 to 8 months, I would say. If you, the best thing to do would be to call and say, hey, I want this built, and get it on the list, and we'll definitely get it done.
So that's what we're talking about, people. People doing this all out of their garage, their shops, making some really cool, badass shit, and getting out there, making a living, doing car stuff. That's awesome. Hey, we thank you very much. We appreciate the shop tour and your time, and hopefully we can see you out on drag weekend and before that and everything too. We want to see this thing out there rocking it too.
For sure. Thanks for coming out, guys.
That's awesome. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment below. That little bell signature down there at the bottom, that icon, click on that. It'll show you when we got some new videos coming out. You guys are really going to like what we got coming up next.